Hi everyone, it's Carol from Carol's Creative Corner. How are you doing today? How's your week going? I hope it's going good. I wanted to reach out to you again because I'm going to continue using the Memories and More, Flowers for All Seasons, Memory and More cards and envelopes. And my last video was on the using the Misty Moonlight cardstock, and then today we're going to use the Cinnamon Cider card for today's class. So, and there are 5 different colors in the pack. So that means I'm going to do 3 more videos after this one, show you how I had used these cards and made a design for each one using a new product from the annual catalog. So today we're going to use Forever Fern on this card base. So let me switch you over to my workspace and we will get started. So here is our card we're going to make today. Isn't it beautiful? I love the cinnamon cider with black, and this is a fairly straightforward card to make and beautiful. So it makes a great sympathy card. It would make a great masculine card, birthday card, you know, for any occasion. That's why I love the Forever Fern set. It's so versatile to be used for so many occasions. And so with the Memories and More pack, you get that beautiful card base, and then you get these matching envelopes. So, so that's right. And once we complete this card, this is ready to go with a matching envelope. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm going to, today we're going to use a blending technique. And so what we're going to do, let's see, I want to show, before I get started, I want to show you some of the products we're going to use today. So these 2 leaves came from the Forever Flourishing dies, and we use this one here. So we use that on this card, and we also used for the sentiment, we used the Peaceful Moments. Now this is my go-to sentiment stamp set. Why? Because it has some of the most commonly used cards that I send. Happy birthday with deepest sympathy, thank you, congratulations, and I love this saying here, wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. That is so versatile as well, can be used for so many different occasions, and I am in love with using cursive fonts with bold writing. So I love the mixture of fonts on this set. So we're going to use with deepest sympathy on today's card, and then the you know, the star of the show here is the Forever Fern set, and today we're going to use this particular leaf and the speckle. And you see that we have all these other beautiful leaves and these wonderful sayings that we can use on cards. So this is the first card that I've made with the Forever Fern, and I know I'll be making a lot more because these are just so beautiful. And I'll be adding these accents to other cards whenever you need a leaf or a branch. It's got so much variety. I'm just in love with it. So I'll put this is our finished product. I'm going to put it aside and we'll get started on showing you how to make this card. Okay, so the pieces I'm going to need, and I've already cut them out, is we're going to need a piece of black cardstock, and that is 3.5 by 5, and we're going to use a vanilla. Now this is a quarter, I think this is a little bit smaller than a quarter sheet, but you want to make it easy, just take a quarter sheet of 8.5 by 11, because you're going to use a piece of vanilla that's bigger than you actually need, and you can kind of see the difference here. You can see that this sheet of Very Vanilla is a little bit bigger, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then we cut out from our dies 2 branches, and then we're also using this beautiful gold trim. Now this is in our annual catalog, this gold trim, and don't you love the way it just frays on the edge? I love that. So nice, soft, and delicate. And it comes in a 2-pack. It comes with this beautiful linen looking ribbon, and I kind of want to see, it's gorgeous, but it's also very light and soft, and makes a beautiful sort of a drapey bow, which I really love. So this comes in a 2-pack. That's where the gold trim came from. All right, so you're gonna see how easy this card is. What I love about the Forever Fern stamp set is the fact that it is distinctive, which means when you stamp it, it's gonna give you this 3D effect just by stamping it. So I'm just using my Memento ink, and we're gonna make 3 branches on this card. And we're gonna start out by like doing it down the center. And then we're going to add 2 more leaves. I'm going to do one that kind of goes sort of down, and I'm overlapping them just a little. I mean, you have liberty to do it however you'd like, but I want them all coming out of this one section. So there we go. It's all stamped so beautifully. Comes out great every time. And then we'll take this speckle and we're just going to add a little accent all around the leaves. And as you know, some of this will get covered up by those die cut branches, so we don't have to be perfect, but just to give it some accent around the card. The next step is to go ahead and add that beautiful cinnamon cider shading to the card. So let me open up my cinnamon cider. And I did try using a sponge dauber. Now, a sponge dauber has a very small head. So, and when you dip it in, it's dark to begin with, so you always have to stamp off and then go lightly. But I found the blending brush, and this is actually a makeup brush. So you can get them at Walmart. It's a foundation brush. I think 5 Below Zero, where everything's $5 and below, has like a packet that you can get of these kind of brushes for blending, for ink blending. So I'm going to tap it into my ink, and I'm going to tap maybe a little bit off, and then I'm going to start in a circular motion and work my way around the card. And look how soft and pretty that is, and without hardly any effort. Now, the sponge dauber to me takes a little more practice, so that's why I'm not using one this time. You could get the same effect with a sponge dauber, but it will take a little bit more work to get it as smooth looking without a whole lot of variations, because it's got such a small little surface. So I'm going to start going down these leaves. I'm going to leave the bottom corner open because I want my sentiment to show up, and I don't want it to be hidden by some of this color. So I can keep going and do it as dark as I want. How about one more time? We'll go, and it's your preference how dark and how deep you want those colors, and it's just using the same motion over and over until you get the desired shading you like. Okay, so that is good, I think, for what we need for this card. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the stitch rectangles, and let me just show you which rectangle I used. Okay, so all of these rectangles is the 3rd largest rectangle that I used to cut out for this particular card. It fits right in there. So 3rd largest, and the reason we made the very vanilla bigger than what we needed is so that we have a little bit of liberty on how we want to position the rectangle. You know, I personally didn't want these ends and open-ended showing, so if I position it just so, it looks like they're just coming from behind the page. So that's why I leave a little bit bigger piece of very vanilla, and then I cut out the stitch triangle just the way I want. And I love having the stitched look around the piece. And then I've got the part of the stamped images that I wanted. So that piece is now done, and now we just need to apply our sentiment and then assemble our card. So with Deepest Sympathy, it's going to go on this card, and I'm going to stamp it in Memento, and I'm going to put it in the very corner. And that's all there is to it. Now, I love the card just the way it is, but for some reason, I also felt accessorizing it would be a nice option as well. So you could be finished with this card, and then you're done, which it really didn't take much time at all. You've got your card base already cut and scored. You just cut some black paper, you do your blending, and your one die cut, and you're ready to go. So that's why I love this card, because it's so beautiful and so simple. But I decided to accessorize, so I did cut these branches. You know, maybe even one would do. I try to arrange the branches so that they're not covering up the words. And I don't stamp glue the whole leaf. I just do it at the tips because, and maybe I'll put a few down so they don't, so they don't wander when you're putting it in the envelope, get caught up in the envelope or something. So I'm just going to lay that on the card. And then I'll do the same to the black. I'll layer that on top. You know, you could just do the die cutting and not even the stamping if you want. I mean, there's a lot of options here. So I think I'll do it that way. So you can see some of the stamped images. You can see the speckles and the color behind these die cuts. So that's the beauty of it. And then we're going to take this gold ribbon, trim, I should say, and we're going to put an adhesive dot. Now, when the adhesive dot is so much bigger than the bow, you can usually like cut your glue dots in half, or what I do, because I'm kind of lazy, is I'll just scrunch them, and they still work beautifully on the card when you scrunch them. So now we're ready to mount that onto our card base. So we'll just put some adhesive on there and mount it, center it on the card. And we're done. And I'll just burnish the edges with my finger, and then we're done. So now your card is ready to go. So I hope you like that technique. I hope you like this card. And I love the Forever Fern stamp set. The next thing that I'll be doing, the next video I'll be using the remaining colors. I used the Misty Moonlight already, and I'll be using these 3 colors in my next videos to show you some other design and some new products from the annual catalog. So I hope you'll join me. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Happy stamping, everyone.